Kirsch and Emyle, New Country. Fewer commercials. New Country 103.9 on Monday. Monday. You hear people say it like that? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah, and I always question them.
I think they're all old people that say Monday.
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend?
I went to Cincinnati to see my team, the Kansas City Royals, completely dominate the Cincinnati Reds.
You know, you're not making a lot of friends on air when it comes to sports. I'll be honest, because there's a lot of Reds fans in Columbus. And then you're a Michigan fan.
I'm not a Michigan fan. I support my husband who supports Michigan. I could care less about, how that game is played.
You're not making any friends with these Michigan ties and banging on the Reds and all that kind of stuff. So
I'm allowed. Okay, listen, the Royals have not been great a lot of years in my life, okay?
You're right. Yeah, they have not.
I'm allowed to take these little wins and victories and celebrate them.
There you go. Okay. I'll give you that.
How about you? How was the burger?
It looked like the burger.
No, I said, how was the burger?
I thought you said, how was the burger? I was like, I did not have one. Yeah, we went over to Pittsburgh. My family's over in Pittsburgh. It was a lot of fun. We had a quick trip because, of course, we had to get back here yesterday for soccer. Right? Go figure.
What's new?
Yeah, but it was great. My mom, not to get too personal, but my mom has Parkinson's, right? And her health has been going downhill for a long time. Well, they got her in a new med, and boy, she's a new woman.
I love that.
She was up and at it and spry, and we went out to dinner and we played cards all day. And I mean, it was like an 80-year-old lady's dream come true.
That makes me really happy. That should be a happy headline. I'm just saying.
It should be. We've got those coming up for you at 6:40. Kirsch and Emyle this morning. I'm laughing because we're going to talk about this story that people are taking the e-scooters, like the Lime and Bird scooters.
I saw this and I figured we have to talk about it because I've never ridden any of these before, but you just stop and leave them, right? That's the whole thing.
Yes, but unfortunately what's happening now, well, I'll explain how they work here in a second, but people are taking them and throwing them in the Scioto River.
Why and how?
I have a feeling it has a lot to do with drunk college students, but I don't know. I don't have proof of that.
I'm going to go with that's probably it.
They dug 30 scooters out of the Scioto River during a cleanup effort, so here's how they work. You go up, you have the app on your phone, you scan the little QR code, it unlocks it, it charges your credit card, you ride, and then when you park it, you park it, and then you go on your app and you hit end ride, and it plays you a little song to tell you the ride is over, and you go about your merry way and just leave the scooter there, wherever you're parking, right?
It doesn't have the location.
It does. It records the location. So
you think they'd be able to figure this out?
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's people riding them and being like, oops, I rode it into the river. I have a feeling. I have a feeling it's just idiots who are going out and they're like, let's throw a scooter in the river. That sort of thing.
Either 30 times or 30 idiots.
Which one do you think it is? One guy 30 times or 30 idiots?
I'm going to go 15 idiots.
15 idiots all doing it twice.
Yes. I'm going to say that.
Quick story before we move on. We were down at Buckeye Country Superfest. John Boy parked kind of far away, and he rode a Lime scooter over to where we were hanging out before the show. And there are a few things in life that I enjoy as much as seeing John Boy Crenshaw on a Lime scooter.
Very sad you didn't record that.
It would be our number one most watched video by far. There she goes. She's rolling her eyes at me. The women of my life just roll their eyes at me all the time. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
You issue. You ruin or make song titles better. I just can't decide.
Purdy Little Poison. It's just a little more hillbilly that way.
It gets stuck in my head, and then I think that's what the name is.
Purdy Little Poison. All right, it's Kirsch and Emyle. We've got happy headlines for you every Monday morning to start your week because there's too dang much bad news in the news. So we like to brighten things up a little bit, right?
Yeah. So a woman in Florida was helping clean up after Hurricane Debbie and found a message in a bottle from 1945. It's a note written to a friend, and it's on a official U.S. Navy letterhead. Historians are trying to track down more info. So I love that.
That is awesome. I didn't realize messages in a bottle were a real thing. I thought that was like a old pirate ship, wise tale kind of thing.
I would love to find one, and I would also love to receive one. Don't ask me why.
Biggest problem in your life with that is the fact that you live in Johnstown. There's not a whole lot of messages in bottles rolling up in
That's
Lincoln
in my
County.
yard.
Yeah, well, your
That's
yard
my
floods.
yard.
Maybe your neighbor can send you a love note you're in a bottle when your yard floods.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope.
A retired Marine in Pennsylvania named Joseph DeMarco just turned 100 years old, and people in his town threw him a big surprise party with a police escort and special guest. I love that.
I think every 100-year-old should get that.
Oh my gosh. The mayor of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania showed up for it, and so did U.S. Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. Here's what else I love that you really don't see this anymore. Joseph enlisted in the Marines after the attack on Pearl Harbor and forged his parents' signature because he was only 17.
Oh, so this guy's the real deal.
Yes.
Oh, good for him.
A lot of people did that back in the day.
Yeah, I think they did too.
And then a 12-year-old in Massachusetts named Danny Doherty set up a homemade ice cream stand outside his house to raise money for his brother's special needs hockey team. Here's where I get mad, but then it gets happy again. It got shut down after someone in his neighborhood complained to the health department.
Stop it.
For some odd reason. You're not allowed to sell homemade ice cream. And they snitched on him.
Oh, come on. There's always that guy in the neighborhood who's all up in the HOA's rear end to like go after people and stuff. Okay.
He ended up getting around it, smart kid, by offering a free ice cream and asking people to donate.
Oh, there you go. Smart kid.
He's just trying to do a good thing for his brother's hockey team. But he did, so that's all that matters.
That's like one of those stories where it had a happy ending, but it's just like you just can't do any. People are worse than anybody.
I know, but I was going to add, the owners of a restaurant called Longboards heard about it, and they're donating 25% of the proceeds.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which, yes, there are good people, though. That's why we do this.
There's your happy headlines with Kirsch and Emily. New Country, fewer commercials, New Country 103.9.
I was listening to Country 103.9 in Cincinnati, right? Because on your smart devices, you can listen anywhere.
All right.
And Tyler came on, and I was like, why am I dancing? It's just natural. Like, I feel like it just makes you dance.
It does.
And, it like him, you know what I mean? Anyways.
You love him so much. Let's talk about your camera roll. Everybody always talks about what's the ninth picture on your camera roll, no judging, show each other, that kind of stuff. I just want to know how many pictures are on your camera roll.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
27,784.
What kind of phone do you have? How much memory is on that thing?
You know what? I don't know. One of my best friends is way worse than I am, but yeah, I have a lot. I need to go through them.
27,000.
Yes.
Okay, you want to know how many are on mine?
Yes.
Just take a guess how many are on mine.
1,500.
9,795.
That's cute. What's that like?
I don't know.
You have a lot of memory going on?
So they all back up to the cloud automatically, and I go through and I blow them out because I know they're backed up.
I don't want to miss a moment, and I don't want to erase a moment. I have a problem. I understand.
Do yours not go to your cloud?
They do. I don't know how the cloud really works.
It's just all your... Okay. Cool. Just blow that iPhone up. You're going to run out of memory and be like, why isn't my phone working anymore? It's because I have 30,000 pictures on my... If you can beat that... If you can beat that number of pictures on your camera roll, text me, 991039. Be like, Kirsch, here's how many I have on mine, and Emily is child's play. But I don't think anybody can beat 27,000.
Want to bet?
991039. Text me. How many photos are on your camera roll if it's more than that? If it's less than that, Emily wins. But seriously, I want to know. And somebody's got you. I have a feeling. I don't know if they're going to be able to. We'll see. All right. So, Emily, we're going to talk about whether or not guys lie on their dating profile. And if they do, how you can catch them when it comes to their height.
I'm sure they do, but I'm very intrigued by this story.
It's Kirsch and Emily, New Country, fewer commercials, New Country 103.9. Now, we've talked about this before. You and I have never done the whole, you did a whole online dating thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Were most people truthful or not?
No, I wasn't ever really serious about it, so I don't know.
I feel like, I don't know. Like, I want to believe that people are truthful about their height, their job, their this, their success, whatever, but
I don't think so.
I don't think they are. Talk us through this hack to figure out if guys are lying about their height, and then I'll tell you if it worked or not, because I tried it on myself, knowing my height, and I tried this to see if it would call me out if I were to lie about my height.
So someone realized you can use ChatGPT to figure out if someone is fibbing about their height. You just upload 4 pictures of them and ask, how tall would you estimate this person is? It uses their surroundings and stuff in the background to figure it out. I would have never thought of this. An AI expert tried it with 10 friends and family and said it was accurate to within 1 inch of all of them. So, what are your results?
So here's what I did. I just took 4 pictures with just me in them. Not selfies like up close or whatever, but me standing in a place. Right. I uploaded them to ChatGPT and asked it, how tall would you estimate this person is? You know what it said? 6'3".
So it's accurate.
I'm 6'4". Well, I'm like 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in there. So it was close, within like an inch and a half.
Yeah, that's what it says.
So yeah, it nailed it for me. So
I'm going to try this with my husband.
How tall is he, by the way? Is he like 5'10", 5'9", something like that?
5'10". Yeah, 5'10".
Yeah, see if it works for a 5'10" guy, because it worked for a giant, jolly green giant like me. But yeah, seriously, it worked. So if you think a guy's lying, and I think that's something that guys lie about in their dating profiles, like
I'm gonna go with yes.
Which is the dumbest thing ever, because when you meet in person, it's like the first thing you're going to notice. Like, wait a second, you said you were 6'2", you're like 5'4".
I don't get it. But maybe they just think that they'll fall for them by then.
Wonder if they exaggerate that much. Like, hey, I'm 6'2", and they're actually 5'4". Kirsch and Emyle starting you out on Monday morning. You said you needed my opinion on a dilemma that's happening online. What is this?
Yeah, so it's time for Kirsch's opinion, one of my favorites. And the dilemma is a soon-to-be married couple doesn't drink, but they're annoyed they have to pay for an open bar at their wedding. And they said on X, quote, "It's so annoying that you're basically required by polite society here to have an open bar at your wedding. Neither my partner nor I drink, and we don't care for if other people do, but must we pay for it?"
Oh, you know what?
What do you think?
That is kind of tough. I mean, like, look, I mean, I would say it's kind of like this. This is just my shooting from the hip. If you don't eat fish, would you not pay to have fish at your wedding?
I wouldn't have fish at my wedding anyway.
No, well, I know you wouldn't, because you would. I don't like fish, but seriously,
I just feel like that's weird.
Chicken or fish, right? Chicken or fish. The dish.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you're a pescatarian and you only eat fish. You don't eat chicken or beef. Do you not serve steak at your wedding or chicken at your wedding?
I'm about to go to a wedding, kind of in this situation. So, but again, it's their wedding.
Yeah, I mean, look, serve what's going to make your guests happy and have a good time and everything else. But if you're like totally anti-alcohol and you don't want it at your reception, that would be one thing. But if it's like, hey, we just don't drink and we don't want to pay for it, I don't know.
I don't think you need an open bar. I think you could do beer and wine, which is a lot cheaper, and have people pay for, like, liquor if they want it.
Or do a cash bar. Like, hey, you know what? If you want to drink, or, you know what? BYOB, problem solved. Everybody shows up with their own thing.
Or elope and call it a day.
That'd be the easy way to do it. Yeah. Mrs. Kirsch and I talk about it all the time. We wish we would have just eloped and been like, you know what, let's go do this on an island somewhere instead of 300 people that we don't know.
Tell all of my friends that.
Do you agree? Would you do it that way if you had to do it?
100%. I do agree. I say, just elope.
Now, if I could elope and there was a full bar wherever I elope to, that would be like a dream come true right there.
Paid for, covered, yeah.
You paid for and covered. So I need to go to elope to an all-inclusive. There you go. Let me ask you this, Emily. Mm-hmm. If you did not have GPS, could you drive to my house?
Oh, man.
You've been to my house a million times.
Okay. From my new house now, I could almost get there.
Almost. Where would you get stuck? Would it be close to my place or?
I have no idea because it's all back roads here.
Yeah, it is.
But at my old house, yes, I could do it.
So when you lived in, Grove City?
Grove City, yes.
You could drive to my house with no GPS. But from Johnstown to my house, I live in like Delaware County, central Delaware County, Lewis Center, Delaware area. You couldn't do it.
Nope.
I bet Sunbury would trip you up, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, actually. No, because don't I keep going straight?
Well, there's no way. If you go straight through Sunbury from Johnstown to Delaware, you end up in the square and it's going to be a mess. The reason I bring this up, I just wanted to see if you can drive places without GPS, because you said your husband can, right?
No, my husband, yeah, he's very good at driving places without a GPS. And I look at him like this weekend when we drove to Cincinnati and I was like, what is this sorcery? You don't even need to look at a map.
Just get to 71 and go south and you end up in Cincinnati. It goes right into downtown Cincinnati.
Hey,
it's one
you
road.
Make it sound so easy. But he does that anywhere, though. Like, I'm sure he could get us to your house, and he's probably never driven the back roads in his life there. So
I think it's a guy thing. I really think it is. I drive somewhere once or twice, and I'm committed to memory. GPS has screwed me up with that, though, because I follow it so often that I don't pay attention to where I'm actually going, right? So I don't know how I got there half the time.
You think you are good at it because your CIA job makes you travel so much?
Yep. That's
okay.
it. If you don't know, I do work another job outside of the mornings here at Country 103.9. It is for the CIA.
Yes. We're not lying here, so.
What's really funny is I refuse to tell Emily what it is because I like that she keeps guessing. It's really not exciting, but.
Oh, yeah, no. It's the fun of life, right?
That's what all the CIA agents say. All right, so we're going to talk about this restaurant, a local restaurant that's going to be featured on Triple D, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. It's Country 103.9, New Country, fewer commercials with Kirsch and Emily. The important question is this.
Yes, Kirsch. Do you want me to explain my dilemma?
Yeah.
Is my husband and I this past weekend, because he tried to tell me that guy, how do you say his last name?
Fieri.
Fieri? Fieri.
Yes.
Right? Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Thank you. We got in not an argument, like a back and forth about how you say his last name.
Well, I trust him himself because he starts every episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with, "Hi, it's Guy Fieri, blah, blah, blah." So I'm going to assume he knows how to say his last name.
You would think, but if you're my husband, who's always right.
He's like, "It's Guy Fieri."
No, he's like Fieri or something like that.
Fieri?
Yeah.
That was like a 1980s Pontiac. Okay. No, it was a Fiero. I'm sorry.
And because he tried to trick me saying he was in at the Reds game, and I was like, I would believe it honestly because he's from Ohio. I don't know. But yeah, and then we got into a back and forth about that. So he says it Fieri, so I'm gonna go with Fieri. Yeah, exactly.
Like the Italian name, Guy Fieri, right?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm the Italian here.
Catalina's in Clintonville is going to be featured on Triple D coming up soon. I've never been there. I gotta go check it out.
So if you see local restaurants on shows like this or like Kitchen Nightmares or something like that, after Gordon fixes it up, obviously, does that make you want to go?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. There was what was it called? It was the one with Adam Richman, Man vs. Food, where he went in and ate like massive amounts of food. One of the first episodes he ever did was here in Columbus, and he went to the Ohio Deli, which burned down years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It was on South High Street.
That's right.
But I was like, I've got to go get a Dagwood, which I missed that sandwich. Man, that was so good.
Yeah. So don't you just get jealous and go, how did you get so lucky having that job?
I know, right? Well, I don't know if he was lucky. He had butt exploded on every episode. But Guy Fieri, Fieri is the way I pronounce it and the way Guy pronounced it. So it's got to be right. Yeah, he's going to be Catalina's in Clintonville if you want to check that out. I'm laughing because I don't know where you pull this stuff up. If you got one of these like couples advice articles you were just reading to me, and I think this is the biggest pile of bull that I've ever heard in my life.
Who's going to try this first? Is it going to be you and Mrs. Kirsch or me and the president? So apparently,
this is terrible. Wait till you hear this.
If you want to avoid a full-blown argument with your partner, just take a 5-second timeout. Yep, just like a kid in timeout, you and your partner can take a quick break to cool down before things get heated. And this study comes from the University of St. Andrews in Scotland.
Oh, God.
They
Okay.
found that a short pause can be just as effective as a longer one.
No. Like, this is bad advice. Hold on. I'm going to set a timer for 5 seconds. And let's say nothing for 5 seconds. And I just want to see how long 5 seconds is and if it's enough to take you from heated to not. Are you ready? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Would you still be mad? There's 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie to you. This music is kind of making me not mad, so...
This is the best music. I don't even know what this is, but I play it all the time and I like it. But here's the thing.
I wouldn't be able to sit there in silence because I would have to be right.
My thought is this. If you're like, boy, we're mad at each other, let's take 5 seconds, honey. And we sit there for 5 seconds. I know both of us are going to be sitting there thinking, you know how when you're in an argument, you always think of what you should have said afterwards, right? This gives you 5 seconds to come up with it.
I guess that's not enough time.
That was a pretty long time.
I just don't think it's going to work.
It did give us a second to enjoy this music. It's good stuff.
True.
All right, so take 5 I'm not trying this. I'm not even going to attempt to do this because she'll come up with a zinger and then she'll win.
But
in all honesty, she wins them all anyhow because I'm just like, please don't be mad at me. I overshot my coverage with Mrs. Kirsch, right? So I have to treat her well.
If someone tries this, let us know.